can't be broken. Out of all the rain clouds I was chosen. When all of the lights they get low and all of the curtains they close, you cannot break down what can't be broken. What's going on, people? What it do, what it do? Hey live, I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab, and I'm about to get on my soapbox once again and preach the word from the book of Galatians, chapter 1, verses 7 through 15. So, what up, what up? Let me first and foremost, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but Skoha must have some type of internet or something where he locked in on your boy, because my man be killing it. First in the chat. Thank you, sir. Night Lord, I see you tried to get there, man, but you just couldn't do it, man. It's Skoha, man. He probably done hacked my computer or something. I don't know what he done did. But anyway, he made it in there first. But shout out to everybody that's coming in, checking it out. What up with it, Hug? Man, I ain't seen Huggy in a while. How you doing, bro? I hope everything good with you, man. What up, Brielle? Frantonio, what's happening? What's going on? Chris Storms, my brother, what's happening, man? I know you holding it down there in the Big M. What's going on, Chorus? How you doing? It's good to see everybody. So, man, so I know, first and foremost, let me get the particulars out the way. So I know that this video that we're about to look at is a bit old, but I ain't did my piece on it. So it's new to me, and that's going to make it new to y'all, because that's what we going to do. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk about what's going on. I'm going to give my view on what I feel and what I know about my city. So, shout out to my wife. How you doing there, honey bunny? Pete the Pirate, arr matey, what's good with it? So that's what we're gonna do on tonight. I do got another video that I think I'm gonna do, but we'll see how this one goes, and that'll determine if I'm gonna do it or not. If not, then hey, I'm gonna do it probably some other time. But be that as it may, let's get it cracking. So let me first and foremost do this thing here. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. Yes, it is. And is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. There we go. Good. So, I want to look at this video real quick first, and then I'm going to give my opinion, and then we're going to talk about a couple of things. I'm from Chicago, nigga. What it do? Damn Bigfoot, what I? Hey, and all y'all too, make sure that if you have not, get your tickets for the Chicago show to see my boy Tommy Sotomayor. He will be making his way to the city of Chi fairly soon. So I know that's coming up in the next couple of months. So you can go to his website, TommySotomayor.com or TommySotomayor.ent, and you can see the different cities that he's going to. So if you're not from Chicago, ain't near Chicago, there's plenty of other cities that you can go to. He's going to be coming back through Texas, doing Dallas. He's going to be doing Houston again, and San Antonio, and Austin. So everybody who checked him out then, like I said, I checked out the Houston and the Dallas show. It was awesome, off the chain. We had a great time. So y'all make sure y'all do that. Go to the website and check him out. So let's go ahead and let's get this cracking, because this is like fairly short, and then I'm going to get off into my thing. I'm going to do my thing. Fred.
They will tell you that putting tanks on the streets.
Richard, you're from Evanston. In order for you to know what the weather's like in Chicago, you gotta read the newspaper. You're not from Chicago.
That is not true.
So let's be very honest. No, you're not from Chicago. So I'm telling you.
He's from Evanston, the other is from Chicago. Fox News contributor Gianna Caldwell recently got noticed all over the internet for that exchange, telling Richard Fowler that being from Evanston doesn't give you the right, doesn't give you the understanding about the struggles that some people have to deal with here in the city of Chicago. So now he, Fowler, and contributor Ebony K. Williams are right here in Chicago at high schools on the south and west sides talking about empowerment. Gianno and Ebony joining us right now in the Fox 32 studio. I got to start off by saying thank you for being here. But Ebony, this tour with you guys going around talking to high school students started because you said you had to jump on Gianno.
I sure did. Yes, good morning. I saw that in my live studio.
So first and foremost, let me say this just to clarify and for the record. Evanston is not any shape, form, or fashion, nothing like anywhere close to Chicago. So people have this misconception because Chicago is such a large city. What is it? I think is it the 5th largest city in the country or something like that, or the 4th largest city, something like that. But it's up there. Chicago's pretty big, but there are a lot of different areas of Chicago, or as Boyce Watkins would say, there are a lot of different slivers of Chicago. So when you got your city, right? You got Chicago as a whole, and then we have what are called the surrounding suburbs of Chicago. And the further you go out into these surrounding suburbs, the better they are as far as violence is concerned. It's not that much violence in Lake Charles. It's not violence like it is in Chicago, like it is in Evanston. When you go further out to the western suburbs, it's not crazy like that. So the bad areas in Chicago are pretty much narrowed down to about roughly 3 areas. And those 3 areas, number one is you got the south side. Okay, well, no, let's go the other way. So first and foremost, I'm going to say, let's start from the west side. So you got the west side of Chicago. The west side of Chicago is pretty much, if you down in the middle of the city in downtown Chicago, and you hop on the Congress Expressway and you go west, that's west side. That's where you got, that's where the west side cats is niggas from the south who came up off I-55. That's where they landed. That's where they settled. That's the west side. Okay, west side of Chicago, you got Maywood. That's a surrounding suburb. Maywood, they get it popping. I can definitely say that. Maywood, these niggas dying in Maywood. That's a fact. So it used to be really nice, but now Maywood is run down and look like a partially rehabbed Gary, Indiana, if you will. So Maywood, they get it cracking in Maywood. Okay, coming all the way back towards the city. So you got some of those areas have been gentrified, regentrification is taking place, and they're nice, but probably the worst part over there is on that little side. And then you got K-Town. Now, I got a story about K-Town that I had to tell you another time. Actually, I got 2 stories that I had over in K-Town. It wasn't good. I done hung out in K-Town with the right people and it was all good, but in my younger years, in a different life, I was over in K-Town doing some things I shouldn't have been doing, and I put my ass on the line, okay? That's another story. But you got K-Town, it's rough over there. You know, niggas get it cracking and popping over there. Then you come on a little further south to a nice golden nugget of the city called Inglewood. Now, Inglewood is just a melting pot of glorious violence. You have everything from drug wars to drug users to boosters, people that climb through your window, kick in your front door, waving the fofo, and then all you be screaming is, nigga, please don't hit me no more. It's going down in Inglewood, okay? You don't go to Inglewood like what Tret say. If you ain't never been to Inglewood, don't go to Inglewood because you wouldn't understand Inglewood. So stay the fuck out of Inglewood, alright? So that's just a little bit of knowledge there, a little nugget for you people that may want to visit the city. You hear somebody telling you they stay off of 68th and Ashland, they over on 64th and Paulina, they right off of 63rd. You don't want to be over there in them 60s, you don't want to be over there in them 70s, from like, what, probably maybe like horsed it all the way back over west. You don't want to be over around off up in there until you get to like Kedzie and Pulaski. Then it starts getting decent again. But Inglewood is popping, okay? Popping with the violence. Like I said, there's some good cooking of the beef. It's a lot of niggas dying, a lot of people's getting robbed, people getting shot, living in the ghetto. That's what that is. Now, you move a little further south, and then you get into the golden jewel of, I just gave you the nugget. This is the golden jewel. This is the jewel, the diamond of violence, in my opinion, which is known as the Far South Side, a.k.a. the Wild Hunters. Shout out to all the GDs over on the 12 Deuce and 12 Trey, all them niggas on the 119th, 11-9, all them niggas out there on 10 Trey. That is the diamond of violence in the city. Southside Wild Hunters. It was named and deemed Wild Hunters, or called the Wild Hunters, after, you know, the whole idea of the Wild Wild West, okay? So if you grew up in the Wild Hunters during the time of the early to mid 90s, it was cracking, okay? It still is cracking, but that's where it was born. That's during my era. That's during all them niggas that was growing up with me. We was the ones that just got to just killing, shooting, robbing, whatever it was all fair game, like the Wild Wild West. That's what it was like, okay? So that's that part. And you go a little further south, there's another little area in the Wild Hunters called the Argyle Gardens. Argyle Gardens is a little small community housing project. And they have the low-rise buildings, not the high-rise, but the low-rise buildings. And those low-rise buildings are full of niggly bears and niggas that's getting it popping. They doing the shooting and the robbing and the killing. That's what that is, okay? So, and then you can go over into, I ain't gonna leave out Robbins, because Robbins, they get it cracking out there too. And then you got, like, you know, that violence trickles on into like Riverdale. Riverdale is run down, and there's a bunch of niggas out there, and they wilding out too. And that's just pretty much niggas who migrated south from Argyle Gardens and the Hunters and went out to Riverdale. They got better Section 8 at one point in time, or the Section 8 was abundant in the area, so niggas got out there too. So it's wild out there. So you got like those three hot areas. Now, I gotta acknowledge the cats out on the east side, because technically there is no east side of Chicago, but we that live in Chicago, we know what the east side is. Them niggas over there off 79th and Exchange, them niggas over there, they get it cracking. Them niggas over there off of 75th, 71st and Paxson and all them niggas over, them niggas get it popping over there. So let me get them they shout out, because they get it crunk. Shout out to all them thugs out there that's doing their thing. So that's another hot area too. So it's really 4 hot areas in the city. You got the west side, you got the Wild Hunters, you got the east side, you got the far south side. Okay, so you talking about, yep, Child 67th and Racine. There's some niggas cooking beef out there too. So that's where that violence is. Now, when you going down into the city, into the heart of downtown, you can go down there right now at 11 o'clock at night, and you ain't gonna do nothing but see white people sipping lattes, running with their dog. Well, it's cold out there now, but they still be running with their dogs and jogging at 11 o'clock at night. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to them. Ain't nobody gonna rob them and nothing like that. That's what they do downtown. You keep going north, over on the lakefront. You go up to what they call the Gold Coast, where Oprah and them used to live and all that beautiful stuff. Ain't no violence out there. You keep on going all the way up to Sheffield and all that, then you roll into Evanston. So Evanston is once you get past like the lakefront, and where it's just like, okay, the north side of Chicago, where everybody is just doing their thing and living their life like it's golden. You get up there, and that's where it's nice and all that stuff there too. So he was very accurate in calling this dude out, talking about, bruh, you from Evanston. You ain't in the city. And that was the thing. So let me go ahead and keep going and get this thing
I said,
cracking.
you know what, Gianno, we got to make something good. That was fun, and it went viral. It got over 8 million clicks, so people really enjoyed it. But I said, let's turn it into something substantive. Let's do something that's going to be impactful around the good nature of what you guys were debating, the funness of that, something powerful, important that will change kids' lives.
But what was the reaction that you got from that? Because a lot of people did say, just because you don't live here, it doesn't mean that you don't have ideas. Doesn't mean you don't have solutions.
Fair enough, and that's a very fair assessment. And to Ebony's point, I had the same idea in terms of let's go to Chicago, let's do a tour, let's get Richard involved. And I think from that assessment that you just made, we must come up with some solutions for Chicago, because I grew up in this city. I grew up on the south side of Chicago.
You graduated from what high school?
Simeon. Simeon. I love my city. I love my school. But the truth of the matter is, I'm disappointed with what I have seen since I've been in D.C., about 5 years now. And I wanted to come back and make a real impact and allow people to see someone who grew up in similar circumstances as them, what you could potentially be. And help.
Now, I do like that. So the fact that that they're having the conversation, I applaud that. I really do. Because that's what we need to start doing. And this dude is what's his name? Gianno something. I can't think of his last name, but he's a Republican cat, Trump supporter, and his thing is he wants, to have the conversation on what we can do to improve our city, especially when it comes to these young black men that are literally just, dying every day in the city, and ain't nobody really giving a damn about it. And I appreciate them for doing that. So the only thing that I guess I'm looking for now after I saw this was like, okay, so yeah, we can get together and we can go to all these high schools and talk to these kids. And that's not the first time that's happened. There are plenty of people, plenty of groups, and plenty of programs where people that went around and talked to these kids. But it's like, if you're not giving these kids nothing, if you're not doing something for these kids specifically, if you're not showing them that, hey, this is what you need to start doing, and you have something there that they can actually go and involve themselves in, then it's kind of just like you're kind of like a circus act. You come to town for a few days, or like the carnival. And I'm going to tell y'all something about these carnivals. Boy, these carnivals in these hoods, niggas be getting fucked up in these carnivals, boy. I used to go to carnivals back in the day when I was a shorty, but by the time I became a young man, you couldn't even go to a carnival no more because niggas was guaranteed to be shot. What about them carnivals up at West Pullman Park when them niggas was going up there, they was shooting, and I knew the niggas that shooting, like, man, y'all shooting up the carnival. Hey, fuck that, man. These niggas up here, I'm gonna get their ass. Carnivals, you can't even have a carnival in the hood no more. But those things, what I'm saying, as far as being like a carnival, you come to town for a few days, you got all this fun stuff for everybody to do, but then after a few days, you're gone. So it's like you're not really like helping them. All you're doing is just you just basically doing like a dog and pony show. You coming in, hey everybody, I'm here. I see me. We take some pictures. We post on Facebook, go live, and we gone. And now y'all back to what y'all was doing, which was just violence and shooting and robbing and killing and selling drugs and all that shit that you was doing before. You go back to it because you don't have nothing there every day. So it's like that's my thing with this, and I'm gonna get into that.
Hopefully, I'm not the height of that. I'm bare minimum in my opinion for that.
And what's the reaction you're getting from some of the kids that you talked to? Because you were at Baylor yesterday.
Yes, we were, and their Principal Richard Smith was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
We have 3 schools on the agenda today. The students really, honestly, they felt inspired because, like Gianno said, I grew up with a single mom in West Charlotte, first generation college graduate from UNC Chapel Hill. Where you start does not dictate where you finish, and that's the message. And I'll say this, as a Fox News contributor, I'm on the Raleigh Factor, on Outnumbered. We talk about Chicago every day. It's been very sensationalized in a way, and as someone who isn't familiar with Chicago, I said, let me go see for myself what is going on in this city and how we can support these students.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, John, I'm going to go back to the Republican.
Now, because I'm from the city, I kind of take a little bit of offense to that. And I'm gonna tell you why I feel this way. Because of what's been happening over the past maybe 10 years or about at least about 10 years. What's been going on as far as the violence in the city? It's like the way that she said that, it kind of made it seem like, it's kind of like a tourist attraction, you know. And it's like there have been several people that have come to the city and had this attitude or this mentality, say, well, let me come and see what it's about. And it's like, when you have that type of mentality to where you're coming to see, it's kind of like you going on fucking safari or something. Let me come see these wild animals. I'm gonna ride around in my car, you know, in my rent-a-car, or in my, you know, my SUV with the windows tinted. I'm gonna ride around and see the dilapidated neighborhoods. I'm gonna see the niggas walking with the shopping carts and see the niggas fighting at the liquor stores and all the arguing and the bullshit. I'm gonna come and see that, just to see what it's all about. You know, I'm going to get my gander of it, and then I'm going to move on with my life, or I'm going to talk about it at the studio. I get what you're trying to do, but my problem is that you kind of trivializing it to where you're just saying, oh, this is what's going on. And even though I've seen it, I kind of understand it, but we just talking about it. And it's like we have to get to the point to where we have a little bit more respect, if you will, about that. Because what you come in to spectate and what somebody's actually living in, it's two different things. That's not something you come and see. You go and see motherfucking Shamu the whale. You go and see, you know, Harambe the gorilla. Rest in peace to Harambe. They did you wrong, brother. You go see that. You go see the great white, not great white, but the Bengal, the albino tigers at the Siegfried and Roy show in Vegas. You go see a show. You don't go and see the ghetto to go and see what it's all about. You don't go and see where 86 people got shot in a weekend and just go to see what that's all about. That's what you call like a crisis. That's what you call, you know, hey, let's go shoot some fucking flares up in the air because this place is fucking, Paris is burning, if you will. That's what you want to, that's what you have to look at it that way. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. The fact that people have gotten to the point now because we've gotten used to people dying, especially in that city. Damn, I don't know why I keep letting that thing do that, but whatever. People dying in the city to where they don't realize that you coming to spectate some shit that you really should be like concerned about, to the point to where you don't necessarily want to spectate. You want to actually bring some resources to it. And you want to call some people out and have conversations about getting resources to it. So that's just my 2 cents on that part.
Convention in Cleveland. That's where we met, and we joked about you being that black man from Chicago, right, who is a Republican. You were just on another network talking about Trump's black agenda. You said you were constantly having to defend the actions of the President Donald Trump, and the Republican Party. What do you say now? What do you say to some of these kids who say, instead of talking about it like Ebony said, when is Trump coming to town?
Well, you know, I defend President Trump when I believe appropriate. So this isn't just whatever he says I'm gonna defend. I won't do that. But when he's coming to Chicago, I think that's an important question. And what I appreciate about what he's been saying is the fact that we're raising inner city issues. We didn't see that much from President Obama. So where we have someone that said, look, we need to fix what's going on in Chicago. No,
but we did, let's be honest, he did have My Brother's Keeper, but you know, it's going to go there, right? So we did have My Brother's Keeper, which I think was his way, in a broader sense, of talking about the issues that face young black men particularly. And I think that's inclusive of Chicago. That's my only point.
Okay, that's inclusive, but we have very serious and very unique issues here. If you're a young black man between the age of 18 and 24, you're 47% likely to be unemployed or out of school. That's a sincere issue. That's an issue that desires resources, that needs resources. And I appreciate the fact that someone wants to raise those concerns at the national level.
Good deal. Gianno Caldwell and Ebony Williams, thank you so much. Both, of course, a Fox News channel.
So, I did like the way that he didn't let her skate. He was being nice because they worked together, but he didn't let her skate on that Obama shit because he called Obama out. And I'm so tired of people trying to defend Obama. It's like Obama has done or can't do no wrong. And it's kind of like we kind of treat him like we treat him just, you know, who we treat him like we treat Bill Clinton. Before there was an Obama, Bill Clinton was the black president, right? He smoked weed, got his dick sucked, played the saxophone, he black, and we cool with everything he did. Fuck the fact that this nigga was single-handedly responsible for the largest incarceration of black folks since slavery. Damn all that. Let's not talk about that. We just gonna talk about he was cool and he liked black people, even though he from Arkansas, which we all know ain't too many white folk that live on the high end of the hog in Arkansas fond of us people of a dark hue. Let's forget all that. But the fact that he was calling out Obama, and I think that he's, especially being from the city, he's justified. Because at the end of the day, Obama did more for the LGBT community than he did for black folks. Period. And I voted for him twice. So I gave him 2 chances. I drank the Kool-Aid twice. I said, yeah, this Obama juice. Okay, I drink the Obama juice. Obama. I did it twice. So, yes, I feel as though no matter what people say, oh, you can't hold that against it. Yeah, I ain't got to hold nothing against it, but I can criticize them. Absolutely. Especially since I voted for the motherfucker. I'm going to criticize him. All right? And my thing is this. You from there. Supposedly, right? We know you was born in Hawaii and all that, and your father was Kenyan and your mama was white. That's fine, whatever. But you claim to be the grassroots community organizer from Chicago. That was your stick. That was your base. That's how you got on the map. That's how you got into politics, was a grassroots community organizer on the south side of Chicago. That was Obama's base. Okay? So with that comes the criticism of like, dude, I hear what you're saying about Congress wasn't on his side, the House of Representatives wasn't on his side, that he didn't have the votes. You saw what they did to Obamacare. They wouldn't let him do nothing. And I'm going to get to that part. Point being is that, dude, your city was burning, literally, on fire with the death of young black boys. Daily, every weekend. And your partner, good old Rahm Emanuel, was right there with you, watching it, letting it go down, coming in there with his 9 fingers. It was that one that's a short one, whichever one is the short one. There's 9 fingers. He's talking about, hey, all this stuff is just so terrible, and I'm going to go over to Fanger High School, and we're going to shoot this documentary and all that. Politicians to the core. And y'all let them boys die for 8 years, and y'all could have gotten some resources to them hot areas, to them hot zones, which are the ones I just named. So yes, there is a criticism piece that comes along with that, because you didn't do shit. You had your hands in your pocket. Because while you were so busy signing bills for anybody to use any bathroom they want to, and if they didn't let them use the bathroom or whatever the bathroom they wanted to, they was going to lose their school funding, while you signing that shit, you could have been signing some other shit to help these people that was dying in your city. Here's what it is. Take the good with the bad, the happy with the sad. You take them both, and there you have the facts of life. Ain't that how it go? Something like that. Whatever. But that's what it is. So when you're talking about what somebody does, and like I like the way that he called it out and said, nah, Obama could have did a little more. That's just a fact. And I'm going to get into that because, and I appreciated him for calling it out. And everybody talking all this shit about Trump, Trump can be criticized too. And the way that he handles shit, the way that he approached shit, absolutely. It is not of a presidential stature or nature as seen before, and that what we're accustomed to and what we're used to and what we should expect. Should I expect my president to be presidential, if that's the term, and to carry himself at with a certain type of respect and dignity and integrity? Yes. However, most people that are billionaires and grew up as spoiled brats and don't have to answer to nobody, they tend to be quite abrasive and tend to have a I don't give a fuck attitude. That's just the fact from I don't know no billionaires, but just the rich folks I know, they have a certain arrogance about them to where they think they can do and say whatever the fuck they want. And I get it. It is what it is. So, moving right along, when you're talking about what can be done in the city, this is like the meat and potatoes of what it is that I'm talking about and what it is that I really wanted to just bring to the forefront. I've said this on other platforms before, like on the Soda You Dig. I've said this on the Guru and the Whore and talking with Tommy and all that kind of stuff. I've said it before, but and I think I even talked about this when I was on Chris Thorne's show. That was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. But I wanted to map this out because I saw this video and I was laughing when he was doing the whole bruh thing. But I thought about it. I said, I never really voiced my opinion about this. So that's what I'm going to do now. Talking about the violence in Chicago, and anybody else that has this conversation, if you get into it and you hear people talking about it, here go what needs to be done or what should be done or what could be done. Okay? And these are facts. This is what actually can happen. All bullshit aside, politics aside, nonsense, whatever you want. Can't nobody that, especially if they from the city and they got half a brain of how the city works, have about that much knowledge on how the city works, can dispute this. First and foremost, this responsibility falls on the people who live in the community first and your local politicians. All right? So that's first 1 and 2. People who live in the city, that whole, I ain't helping the police, snitches get stitches, I ain't telling no man, I ain't telling no Ray, I ain't telling no Jamarquavius and Nook, I ain't telling no little man. That's first and foremost why the fucking hood is so fucked up. That's the reason, that's your number one reason. These single black mothers that are in these neighborhoods that are raising these kids to be literally fucking terrorists and don't give a fuck until the terror comes to their doorstep and they son, they little girl, they little nephew, they little uncle, they little auntie, because you can be uncles and aunties at a young age in the hood. You can be 14 and be an uncle. You can be 8 and be an uncle. You can even be 6 and be an uncle. So that's a fact. But when you have that type of when you have those type of things going on, that's what happens. So first and foremost, that whole we ain't snitching and we don't tell the police shit. We know that the dope man is my nephew selling out the basement. We know that the dope man is my son sleeping in the next room all day because he be out hustling all night. We know that the nigga pushing weight is my uncle. And yes, he got a Range Rover, but he's staying in my grandmama house and we don't say shit. That's our number one reason why our communities are so fucked up, why they are so riddled with violence, and why everybody's suffering. That's first and foremost. The other part to that is the local politicians. Because the motherfuckers that we put in office, the ones that we go and vote for, are pretty much the ones that we see at our church. For those of us that go to church, them the ones we vote for. They get the most signs out. They go to church, they get a hallelujah, high five preacher, they probably get a little shout on and do the little thing with their wife or whatever, or their girlfriend, whoever they got with them, or their crew, and then everybody that's around them, all the preachers, stand them up and say, yup, this is who we gonna vote for, y'all. Keep an eye out for them on the ballot, punch 22, whatever it is, and when it comes time to vote, they got their signs up all through the neighborhood, and boom, that's what they do. Once they get in the office, they give their little kickbacks and give a little benefit, give a little, hey, here you go, to the preachers, the church houses, or the people that they know that they connected with, and that's it. Everybody else, fend for yourself, all right? Because they looking at it like this, shit, these little young niggas don't vote anyway, fuck them. That's just the fact of what it is. Other part to that is, so you got these two aspects of what we're dealing with, but how do we actually fix it? Several ways. Number one, number three, you can get your local politicians can work with the police departments in your neighborhood to get more police in the neighborhood. Now, do you just want more police cars riding around? Nope. Because them motherfuckers in them police cars, them motherfuckers that's been on the job for 3 years or they've been on for 30, they ain't trying to get the fuck out and chase these young niggas down. They not. They not the go-getters. They not the ones that's going out here that's going to make some shit go down. What you need is what they call a special task force. So you got your gang crimes unit, you got your HBT unit, you got all these different units. There are certain details that are called special task force details, special units, and you put you anywhere between, 10 to 30 dudes together and say, hey, put on these plain clothes, get in these plain cars, and go out here and jump out on these boys. Y'all see them out there. Y'all know who they are. Y'all live in the neighborhood. Y'all see them. Get on them. If they out there and once you got a special task force that's doing that, I've seen it with my own eyes. They tell you flat out, if y'all niggas ain't on y'all porch or if y'all niggas out here fucking up or fucking around, we on y'all ass. We know who y'all are and we gonna fuck with y'all every time we see y'all. Plain and simple. That's exactly what they need to do. You get a special task force. Now, you're going to have some people that will say, well, based on because of the budgets and the budget cuts that we've had, we don't necessarily have that type of manpower and that type of those type of resources. Bullshit. Because that's when you could have reached out to Obama, Mayor Emanuel, and whoever going to be this current mayor can reach out to Trump. And they can do, all this shit there. Let me say this. All this shit about having the troops come in, that shit ain't gonna happen. Martial law has never been instituted on U.S. soil. That ain't gonna happen. So we can go on with all that. Nah, you don't want tanks driving down the street. You don't want the National Guard going up and down, keeping curfews. You hear people saying it all. Y'all don't want martial law in the city of Chicago. You don't want it. You think you do, but you don't. Because them soldiers, they gonna really shoot y'all. You ain't gotta have no damn National Guard, no Army, Navy, Marines, or none of that. You don't need it. That shit's a fucking myth, and people just need to stop saying that shit. You don't do that. What you do is what they call, you get your federal government to get a federal assisted task force. You get the FBI to come in and assist the Chicago Police Department with a task force. Why do you want to do that? Because the FBI got all kind of new toys and technology that most cities don't have access to. They got the wires, the cameras, they got the thermal sensors. They got all this shit that most municipal law enforcement departments don't have. So that's why you reach out to Trump. That's why you should reach out to Obama and say, hey man, send that. Now, you talking about, well, how did they get to do that? He just can't take the FBI and send them there. Bullshit. He can. It's called an executive order. And I'm going to tell you how I know that happened. 2 occasions. Long time ago, there was a group of people called Black Panthers. Y'all remember them? Huey P. Newton? Yep, remember Huey P? Huey P. sitting in the straw chair, and he got the little gun up there. Y'all remember that? Huey P. Newton? You know what? What's your boy, what's his name? Goddamn, I can't think of the boy's name. Ah! The white boy from the FBI. God damn it. The gay dude who had the lover and all that stuff, who had all the tapes on everybody. Y'all know his name. Somebody tell me. But anyway, you know what he did? He assigned a special task force. He was the director of the FBI. He took a task force and said, y'all go stop all them damn Black Panthers. Go get him. That was back in the 60s. Edgar Hoover. Thank you, J. Edgar Hoover. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. That's my brother Easy. What's up, boy? So you take J. Edgar Hoover did it. Come on, fast forward, because you'll say, oh, man, that was back in the 60s. Man, they can't do it. You're right. Let's fast forward. There was once upon a time a notorious gang-banging nigga known as, there we go, Larry Hoover. Shout out to Larry Hoover, political prisoner, trying to get out, ghetto boy, Scarface, everybody saying free Larry Hoover. Yeah, free Hoover. Larry Hoover was the leader of the Gangster Disciples, and still is because he's still alive. He the man. Hey, Hoover. Shout out to Hoover. Larry Hoover, not J. Edgar Hoover. Larry Hoover. He was the leader of the Gangster Disciples, right? Got locked up. Was down in Stateville. Yeah. When they locked him up, they put him in Stateville first. We went from the county and went to Stateville. So they had him locked up in Stateville. However, while Larry Hoover was in Stateville, Larry Hoover, Rick Ross, right? No, Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover was literally still running the Gangster Disciples from Stateville. from the joint. He had the governors reporting to him. They would come up to Stateville, report to him, tell him what was going on. It was even rumored that Larry Hoover had keys to his jail cell to where he could go and come as he pleased. He had TVs, bitches, he had refrigerators, he had greens, beans, tomatoes, and all that. He had everything. You made it. He had it all. He was literally living in Stateville like he was living at home. That's all I'm saying. That's what he was doing. So what they did was they said, goddamn, y'all remember Save the Children? For people in Chicago, Save the Children was basically a money laundering organization that laundered the drug money, and they called it Save the Children. They used the money to bring in concerts. I went to several of them. I got to see Too Short. I got to see the Wu-Tang Clan. I got to see Scarface. We had such a lovely time going to all these wonderful concerts that Save the Children provided for us as they laundered the $100 million drug organization. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. So he was running that shit. And it got to the point to where the feds said, well, how the fuck are they still disorganized and making all this shit happen and ain't nobody... This nigga still running the goddamn game from the jail. So you know what they did? The FBI task force, they put a task force together and they literally caught up with all of the governors, a good handful of them, and they said, look here. Because you know when the feds, you know what they say, when the feds come and get you, they already got you. When the feds come and, hey man, why don't you come have a conversation with us? They got more than enough shit on your ass to lock your ass up already. They did the homework. They don't let you know that they even watching you or that they see what you're doing until they got your ass. So the surveillance and shit have been done. So they came and they said, hey, look, man, we got all y'all governors. Y'all can do one of two things. Y'all can either take this shitload of time, or y'all can wear these little badges and get these little wires on them. Y'all can just keep doing y'all thing. Go on, keep talking to Hoover until we tell you to stop. And then you only have to do about 8 years or so. And you know what them governors and them coordinators and all them motherfuckers did? They Tekashi 6ix9ine and took the deal. That's what they did. They did a Tekashi. They took the deal and said, I'll take... get out of jail in a little while for $800, Alex. That's what these motherfuckers did. They took the deal. And what they did was they had all this evidence of them going back, talking back and forth with Hoover calling the shots. And they said, all right, we got all of these years of this nigga still running this jail, racketeering, RICO. They hit him with the RICO and all that all over again and said, you know what? Now we gonna ship your black old ass off into the Fed joint. So that's how he got to doing Fed time. Nigga probably ain't gonna never get out. They might do some shit when he about 90 and ready to die. They might let him come home. Hopefully they will. But unless Obama give him a pardon. Well, that ain't gonna happen because Obama gone. Maybe Trump will give him a pardon. I don't know. But that's pretty much what happened. So there was a specific task force assigned to do just that. And you can do that literally with the pen of just signing an executive order. And say, hey, you send this task force, this group of FBI agents to Chicago, and their job is to literally go after these boys that's doing all this shit in the city. Period, point blank, that's it. That's how it works, right? So that's the law enforcement side of it. Now, as far as the community side of it, what you do to help curb that, because everybody that's in Chicago, in these areas, they're not just the worst of the worst motherfuckers. Yes, there are there's a very large group of terrorists in there, but then it's just some that's just caught up in a fucked up situation. And here's how you help those kids. You come up with after school programs and evening programs like midnight basketball. Midnight basketball is something that has worked in the city to where, and all it is just a late night tournament that goes on. You got police there, playing hella police there in these gyms, and the gym is open up late so these kids can play basketball. They got their little tournaments and things like that going to go all over the city. That's one of the ways that you do it, and you just have the funding in place to do that. All you do is get them jerseys, give the coaches like a little stipend, and that's it. And they pretty much just hoop. That's one thing you can do. Other thing you can do is have actual programs where these kids are learning some shit. Vocational programs. There used to be a time where the Chicago Park District had that. After school, I went to it. After school, I could get out of school at 2:30. I could go swimming. I can go play basketball. I could go get boxing lessons. I can go to wood shop and make some shit. I could go work out in the gym. I could go to acting class and do theater. There was so many things that I could do every day once I got out of school and the park was open. There was so many things that I could do. They took all that funding away. The park districts literally are open. They barely even open now. And all of the people that used to work there, they literally tanked all their jobs. That's your politicians that did that shit. They're responsible for that. So all these aldermen, all these fucking state reps and all these motherfuckers are sitting up here steady voting for them to get salary increases. Well, what they did was they cut out a bunch of shit. They cut out a bunch of fucking programs. They took a lot of funding away and just said, oh, we're going to have to come up with another way to do it. But meanwhile, we're going to take all this shit. That's what they did. So that's just the fact of saying, hey, we going to vote for your ass again. Then motherfucker, you need to bring this shit back. And if you don't, we're going to vote your ass out. Those are the type of things you can do. Get some of these schools. And it's not like, oh, we need a building to do that. Bullshit. You use the schools. Schools can stay open late. And you get these rooms. You got some in some areas even got resource centers. Shout out to Tony Bill. He got him a resource center out there on 103rd, I think it is. Yeah, he got him one. He just got him one out there. Been working on it for years. Shout out to him for doing that. That's what's up. So you can have something where you got computer classes for kids, teaching kids how to fucking do, and I ain't talking about no bullshit computer class. I'm talking about teaching kids how to write code, teaching kids how to make apps, teaching kids how to fix computers, teaching kids how to write software and all that kind of stuff. Real tangible skills that these kids can learn, and there's plenty of people that can teach it. And you can probably get a lot of people to teach this shit for free or for little or nothing, just because they helping some young kids, some young people. So you can get people to do that. You come up with vocational programs. How come we don't have in our community places where kids can learn carpentry? Places where kids can learn plumbing. Places where kids can learn HVAC, heating and cooling. Places where kids can learn electrical. Those 4 things right there, 5 automotive. Those 5 things right there are 5 things that people need every day, and you can have a job to where you use that skill. Truck driving 6. These 6 skills is something that you need every single day. Shout out to my man Easy. Tailoring, absolutely. Shout out to Taylor's Row over there on 75th. Is he the only one? Master Taylor, damn near in the city. The baddest master motherfucking Taylor I know, goddammit. Shout out to Daddy-O out there. So it's like, that's 7. You got 7 trades that these kids can learn that they could use as a tool for them to pick up and put down whenever they want to make money. I'm going to even go one more. 8. Fucking real estate. Real estate is a powerful tool. And I'm going to tell you what. When you can talk about those 8 things and ain't nobody willing to teach that, you know why they don't want that? Because they don't want to empower you. They want you living off the government tip. They want you to be struggling. They want you to be in a situation where you need this stipend. You need this check. You need these food stamps. It keeps you as a dependent. It's just like a fucking drug. Yeah, I'll give you some free coke. I'll give you some free crack. I'll give you some free heroin. Yes, I will give that to you for free because it's going to hook you. And now you need me. And you'll do anything for me. You'll vote for me. You'll support me. You'll steal, rob, kill. You do whatever I want you to do. You'll do it for me. So it's like that's what you have to think about. The way that these Democrats and these liberals want you to be so dependent on the government, it's all to keep you addicted because now your connect is your local politician, your alderman, your precinct captain, whatever the hell they call it, wherever you live. But in the city, I need that person now. And if they ain't putting nothing into your city, they ain't putting nothing into your community, they ain't putting nothing on your block, they're not giving you no resources, no real shit that can help you learn how to fend for yourself, then they're crippling you on purpose. Not by happenstance. This ain't the man, and this ain't Trump fault. This is your local politician's fault. This your mayor fault. This your state rep fault. This your alderman fault. Because you don't have resources to build your own communities with. Because all the while all this shit is going on, they steady letting them liquor stores, them 24/7 stores that come up in there and don't do shit but sell liquor, bullshit ass food, and to sell you phones and hair weave. They'll put them in your community every day, all day. They'll put a church on your community every day, all day. They'll put a bullshit ass restaurant in your community every day, all day. And it's all a bunch of people that don't look shit like you that's selling you this shit, taking your money and taking it out of your community and putting it in theirs. And yes, this has been happening way before Trump. So it's like, that's what you have to realize, what is going on, so that you can say, well, this ain't what I want for us no more. We don't want this no more. We want to actually get some shit in our community where we can actually build some shit. And if you a politician and you want my vote, you need to be doing that. As opposed to just taking pictures with my fucking pastor. Talking about, yeah, we got each other's back. As opposed to just coming around talking to the family of the kid who just got shot just because they on the news and you want to try to show your face. You got to do more than that. You got to do more than that. And the only way that they're going to do more is when we hold their feet and their ass to the fire. Plain and simple. So it's like, those are the things that we need in our community, and everybody will be talking this, oh, we just need more jobs. That's a bunch of bullshit. Because jobs will come and go. We need fucking trades. You need a skill set. You need to learn how to be a carpenter. That way you can build shit. You learn how to be a carpenter, then you can buy a rundown ass house and rebuild the shit. You can buy it for pennies on the dollar, and then you can come in and rebuild it. As opposed to paying some Hispanics to do it, paying some Polish people to do it, paying some people that don't look shit like you to come in and do it. You can do it yourself. That's what a vocation does for you. That's why you can say, hey, my uncle's a plumber. My cousin's an electrician. I'm a carpenter. My other cousin is a HVAC. He can do heating and cooling. All together, you got a bunch of motherfuckers that's related to you that can come together and help you literally build a house. You know who do that? Everybody else. That was just like Tommy said last night. He was talking about how, you know, people, you have families of doctors. And a lot of these people that are coming from the Middle East, a lot of these people that are coming from Asia, a lot of these people that they come in, they don't just specialize in one thing. Nigeria. They come over and they learn different types of medicine. Yeah, we all doctors. I'm a foot doctor. I'm an ear, eyes, nose, and throat doctor. I'm a brain surgeon. I'm a cancer doctor. I'm an obstetricianist. I'm a pediatrician. I'm all these different doctors. Yeah, we got it all in the family. Yeah, we a bunch of doctors, but we got our specialties. Because we building wealth and we got a skill set. You want both of those. You don't just want somebody to come in and put a fucking Walmart in your neighborhood and give you a job. You want to have something to where you can learn how to do something. I'm a fucking tailor. I can make clothes. That's one of the 3 things people need: food, clothing, and shelter. I can come and make you a fucking suit from scratch because I'm a fucking tailor. I can come and make your clothes. I ain't got to go buy no fucking Gordon Gartrell. I can make the motherfucker myself. I don't have to go buy $250 pair of jeans because I can make them myself. Ain't shit like a tailor-made suit to fit. Hey, I'm telling you like it is. Telling you what I know. My brother Easy sold like an old Mexican woman. Swear to God, I seen it for myself with my own 2 eyes. Nigga shot me. And what? How old was that? How old was Easy? Like, man, I think at that time he was like maybe 28 or some shit like that. That motherfucker told me he could sew. I told him, you a goddamn lie, the truth ain't in you. And at about 10 o'clock at night, this motherfucker took me to his daddy's shop, and that dude literally tailored hemmed up about 8 pair of pants for me, and no lie, like 20 minutes. I bullshit you not. Matching thread and all. I'm telling you, he sold like an old Mexican lady. The boy is bad. I love my brother. I'm just telling you what it is, telling you what I know. But it's like we got to be able to take those type. He said like the Voltron of construction. I like that. I like that. So it's like that's what we have to realize. And it's like that's where this shit starts. It ain't going to happen overnight. But when we have those type of expectations for ourselves, then we can start to change our community. We can change our lives. We can change our neighborhoods. We can literally establish our own black community. All that shit we talk about, Black Wall Street, having our own, doing our own, that's where it starts. That's all I'm saying. That is where it starts. You have to have that expectation and that fucking demand. Ain't no we hope you do what's right when you get in office. No, nigga, you need to do what's right because you got lives on the line. And if you don't, we gonna fuck your ass up. We gonna vote you out then fuck you up. Because my little nephew that's selling dope out my basement, he got a lot of young little niggas. Some young little niggas that'll jump out with them choppers on your ass. So you better get it together. So it's like, that's what I'm saying when we're talking about actually changing. When people tell you all this shit about Chicago, all this shit about, hey, we got, it ain't like that. It is like that. And all these motherfuckers that you see that come to these neighborhoods talking about, oh, my church go to Chicago. My church goes into Inglewood. My church goes into the Hundreds. My church, yeah, they do. But they go at 11 o'clock in the morning. Motherfucker, Indian, I'm calling out every motherfucking community activist, every motherfucking guardian angel, every motherfucking body in the city that talking about they in these communities. If your ass ain't in these communities on a Friday and Saturday night at 10 o'clock p.m., you can't tell me shit. Because ain't no point in going to the hood in the daytime where where all the thug niggas asleep. You want to go and touch some lives? You want to change some people? You want to have an impact? Take your ass in the hood at 10 o'clock at night when them niggas is out there. Get your parishioners and y'all take some naps in the daytime and then get y'all ass up at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, get together, pray, and then go into the hood and stand on them corners then and pray. Y'all ain't doing that shit. Pray on them corners at 11:30 p.m. Peak killing hours. That's what I'm talking about. You want to tell me instead of getting your asses together and blocking the fucking expressway so I can't go catch a plane or I can't go to a goddamn game because you motherfuckers want to prove a point and get on FaceTime and get on Instagram and get on live at 10 o'clock in the morning on a fucking Saturday. You want to go and block the airport on a fucking Saturday. Bullshit. Ain't about nothing but bullshit. Get your ass out there and get to see them boys that's out there for real at night. And if you're really genuine, if you really do give a fuck, they'll respect it. But don't come out there thinking that you just gonna tell them some shit and they just gonna get out how you live. You gonna get your ass laid down. Go out there and try to understand what these boys is going through by not having no daddies, by not being able to eat, by not having a place to sleep, by not being able to lay their head down safe. You know how fucked up it is for a young girl, a young boy to not be able to go to fucking sleep because of what might happen to him? If you ain't lived that kind of life, then you can't go tell a motherfucker to put no gun down. Nigga, that's how I stay alive. So you gotta take, and that's why I was kind of offended by that whole thing about she was saying, oh, I'm from Charlotte and I just wanted to go see what it's about. Man, you got motherfuckers suffering on a whole nother level that some people can't even conceive. And it's eye-opening and all that shit and it's shocking and unbelievable. But when you go and talk about it for 5 minutes on the show, I get it. But it's somebody right now that's living that shit. It's somebody tomorrow that's going to live it. It's somebody the day after tomorrow that's going to live it. Since this shit came out, which was what, about a year or two ago, it's people still living that. So don't make it a trivial thing where you just go and see because you didn't know about it. You just want to see it. Get some real shit in place and get some real tangible things as opposed to just telling somebody that they can do better. Give them some actual shit that they can actually do to do better. Don't take your ass out there on them streets. Take your ass to this carpentry class once you get out of school to start at 5 o'clock and go from 5 to 9. So when you do get home, when you do get out, you so tired you want to go home and go to sleep. That's all I'm saying. Bam. Here we go. A 1-year-old was just shot in the head on the south side. Case in point. Somebody living that shit. And that's the shit she want to go spectate. She want to go see what that's about. That ain't no shit you go see about. That's some shit you go do something about. And when a motherfucker on the news and they standing out in front of the street light pole or standing on the porch with a bunch of fucking candles that they bought from Dollar General, and they got all these fucking teddy bears and bicycles and flowers in front of this little place where this little 1-year-old got shot, it don't mean a goddamn thing. Because ain't nobody telling. Ain't nobody got no license plate number. Ain't nobody got no car color. Ain't nobody got nothing to say, because don't nobody know nothing, because y'all motherfuckers scared to talk about the motherfuckers that's fucking holding you hostage in your own fucking neighborhood. Shot in the back of grandma's SUV. How the fuck does that happen? You know how it happens? One or two things. Mistaken identity, or that SUV is known to have some real thick young terrorists in that motherfucker, and them niggas saw it and they shot it up. And I guarantee you, motherfuckers know who did it. Guarantee. And if they don't know, they'll find out within the next 48 hours. Just like First 48, that's exactly how shit work in the hood. I know that. It ain't never, ever been shit that done went on in the hood to where the truth don't come out in the next 48 hours. Ain't no 6 months, case gone cold, 4 years, 3 years. Within 48 hours, when some shit go down, niggas know who did it or who's involved. The motherfuckers that the police will be looking for, motherfuckers know who they are within in 48 hours. They do. They do. They know. So if you not telling, if you ain't saying shit, that's why it's fucked up. And people don't care until it come knock on their door. When it's your nephew, when it's your little brother, when it's your little sister, when it's your uncle, when it's your auntie, when it's your grandmama, that's when you care. And what you do, you get mad and you say, oh, I'm going to go out here and do it to them. Keep the cycle going. And it's usually, like I said, the people that stay right there, like you saying, in the same block, in the same house, across the street, down the street, around the corner. That's what it is. So, I don't want to go too much longer. I just wanted to call out them points. So, if anybody ever get into a discussion about Chicago and the violence and how to stop it, don't let them give you that bullshit. Show them this video and show them what's really going on and how to really fix it. How to really change it. How to really turn the shit around. That's all I'm saying. Because, bruh, I'm from Chicago at the end of the day. So, I appreciate everybody who came through. Oh, let me get in the habit of making sure I check my PayPal so I can tell these people how much I appreciate them, how much I love what they do for me. I thank you so much. Let me see here. I was going to show this other video, but it's just the same goddamn thing. It ain't no difference. It's just talking about all the shit that happened since Trump got sworn in office. So we ain't got to do that. Bam. Done enough. Alrighty. Ah, hold on. Oh, that's from yesterday. Okay. Shout out to Pan. Thank you, Pandorans. I appreciate it. Hi, Brian. Fantastic show. Lots of love. David and I need an address to send you and your gorgeous wife a wedding invitation. So glad you're back. We have been watching your replays. All right, for sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Pandorians. Shout out to MG. Thank you, Michelle Glass. That's what's up. Thank you for your donation. Oh, my man, Chris Thorns. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you stopping by, showing love, man. Shout out to my man, Chris Thorns. And also, thank you for your donation. I can say your name. Okay. From Bobby Danielle Brown. Thank you so much for your donation, too. I appreciate it. Is that everybody? Yes, it is. Well, I thank y'all so much. It's been a great show. I'm glad that yeah, you can go ahead and shoot me that in the email. Email me that story. Yeah, that's what's up. I definitely just want to say thank you all for stopping by, clicking the like, supporting the show. It's always a pleasure to just be able to spend this time talking with you guys. I hope that this helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I love you all. I appreciate everybody that supports the show and puts up with me and my shit. It's all good. Peace. And as always, bye live. And I'm out. Boom.